Hello everyone, welcome back. So today in this video I am going to discuss about what is exploratory testing in software testing. Okay, so basically exploratory testing is a very important interview questions also. So if you are a freshers and you are attending any interview, then obviously you have to know about what is exploratory testing. So in this today's video I am going to discuss about all details area of exploratory testing. So let's start the video. First, what is exploratory testing? Means suppose we have an applications and we have to explore the applications. Basically, exploratory testing says that the meaning of that exploratory means we have to explore something. Now, what we have to explore? If any applications, if we don't have any types of requirements, or if there is requirements but the requirement is missing. So for that scenarios, we have to explore that requirements. Okay, then we can test the application. So we have to explore the applications to understand the proper requirement. Okay, then we have to test the application. Then we can start the application for testing. So first we have to explore the applications to uh, to understand the proper requirements, and then we can start testing of that applications. Maybe maybe the requirement is missing, or there is requirements but the requirement is not understandable by us. Okay, so basically we have to take any applications and then we can explore the applications, explore the all the possible areas, all the possible scenarios, all the possible test cases, then we can start the applications. So that type of testing is called as exploratory testing. So exploratory testing definition says that understand the applications and identify all the possible scenarios, document that identified scenarios, and finally test the applications by looking into those documented scenarios is called exploratory testing. We have to explore the applications, then after explore we have to document that uh, all the possible scenarios, all the possible test cases, and then we can start the application for the testing. So that is called as exploratory testing. So if I understand, I mean, if I give you more easy way that what is exploratory testing. So in exploratory testings, the application is ready for us. Okay, but we don't have any requirement, or the requirement is missing. Then what test engineer or what tester will do? What they will do? So basically the test engineer or tester, they will take the applications and they will explore the applications by themselves. Okay, and they just try to understand properly that what should be the requirement. Okay, that means the test engineer will take the applications and they will explore the applications and they will identify all the possible scenarios, all the possible test cases, and finally they will note down all the possible scenarios, and at last the test engineer will start their testing by following those documented test cases or test scenario. That type of testing is called as exploratory testing. So now you guys are very much clear about what is exploratory testing. Understand the applications and identify all the possible scenarios, document that identified scenarios, and finally test that application by looking into those documented scenarios is called as exploratory testing. Okay, so now the second question is that the second topic is that who will do that exploratory testing? Who are responsible for that? The test engineer. The test engineer, the test engineer, or we can say that, or we can say tester. Testers are responsible for that exploratory testing. So the tester responsibility is to do that exploratory testing. Okay. Now next question is that when the tester will do the exploratory testing. As I have already told you that when two things are there, when they don't have any requirements, okay, or if the requirement is missing, or if the requirement is not understandable by us, what is the requirement, or if the requirement is missing, so then the test engineer can go for that exploratory testing easily. So when they don't have any requirements, first one, or we can see that we can say like that, the the requirements are missing, so then for these scenarios we can easily go for that exploratory testing. Now that there will be some questions in your mind that why exploratory testing? Lots of testing are there, lots of testing types are there, so why we follow the exploratory testings? As I've already told you that, just suppose take one another testing type. Let's take the smoke testing. So I'm just giving you one very basic example so that we can collaborate that what is other testing we do and what in exploratory testing what we will do. So let's take an example, smoke testing. So in smoke testing what we will do, there is some requirement that is given by the client or given by the customers, and in one hand we have the requirement and other hand we can test that application by using that requirement. That means we have a requirements in our hand, easily we can follow that requirement for the testing purpose. That I've already told you in previous all of my video that developer will develop the applications by using that client's requirements, and tester will follow the documents whenever they will go for test. So that is the other testing type. And what is that in exploratory testing? How can we differentiate? In exploratory testings we don't have any requirements in our hand, we don't have any requirement. Then how we will test? So whenever we don't have any requirement, then we have to test, we have to explore the applications. What I mean, we have to find out all the possible scenarios. Suppose if we clicking on the login button, suppose let's say this is a login button, this is a login page, this is the login page, and that is the login button. So in general, if we click on the login button, what page should be appear? So obviously after clicking on the login button, if some forget password page will comes up, that is not, I mean, not as per mark. So basically we need some knowledge, we need some testing knowledge. So as the experienced person, they can explore. So if we click on the login button, in general some login page, or some we can say there's some sign up page, or we can say there's some home page or some dashboard page, like this type of page should appear. But if we click on the login button, suppose the page is next page is opening like the forget password page, that shouldn't happen. So in exploratory testing we have to explore that applications, we have to find out all the possible scenario. If we clicking on the button, what page should appear? So basically we have to think about that all these possible scenarios, so then we can test the applications easily. So actually the focus of the exploratory testing is more on testing as a thinking activity, right? So basically exploratory testing is widely used in agile models. Okay, so now you guys are very much clear about that. When we will follow the exploratory testing, who is responsible for exploratory testings, and why exploratory testing, everything we have clear. Okay, with example. Now suppose in your mind there may be some question like that, I am telling you that the requirement are missing. So as my previous video I have already told you guys that the client has given some requirements and we have to follow the requirements whenever we are testing. Now in this video I am telling that if the requirement is missing, so there might be some questions in your mind. So in different two videos to what I am telling. One is we have to follow the client's requirements, and in exploratory testing, I am telling you that if the requirement is missing, so there will be question in your mind that why the requirement will be missed. Why? Is there any reason the requirement will be missed? Yes. So the reason is that why the requirement will be missing. The reason is that suppose let's say if the project is very old. Suppose I am working in a project and the project is continuously running from the last 10 years. From the last 10 years the project is running, and one tester is there. They test everything, and the tester leave the company or leave the project, and I am the new tester joined in this project. This project is running almost 10 years. Just take an example. Now I am new in that project and the project is very old. Now whenever I am going for any type of testing, what I will do? So maybe the requirement should be missed, right? So that is one scenario is there. So we don't have any requirement, or the old tester who have tested that, so they didn't write any type of test scenarios, test cases. Then how can I know that what is the requirement? Then we have to explore the applications by myself, and then I go for the testing, right? Or suppose let's say the project is 10 years old. The project is 10 years old. Okay, and now the client has given some changes. Okay, so suppose for the there is some, I'm just drawing some. So the project is 10 years old. Okay, 10 years old. When the project is for in the first 1 year, the client has already given some requirement, give some requirements, and the developer has followed that same thing and they have developed thing. So after 10 years, the first requirement, what the client says in the first year, and the clients want that same requirement again. Then so as we don't have any scripted documents, then how we can we know that what was the requirement for the first years? So we don't have any knowledge. So if the requirement is missing, then we have to follow the exploratory testings if the project is very old. Okay, so now clear. Now next question is that how to do exploratory testing. How to do exploratory testing? So first we have to follow the whenever we are whenever we are taking any application for the testing purpose. So first we have to do the unit testing, then integration testing, then system testing. That is for different testings. But how to do exploratory testing? So in exploratory testing, we have to, as I've already told you, that we have to explore the applications. We have to explore the applications by ourselves. We have to explore the applications by ourselves. First, we have to take the applications. If the requirement is missing, we have to explore the applications. Then we have to write down all the possible scenarios, and then we have to test the applications by following all the possible scenarios, by doing uh, um, uh, unit testing, integration testing, system testing, etc., etc. Okay, so now you are clear. Now, so what is the advantages of that exploratory testing? What is the advantages of that exploratory testing? Lots of advantages are there. So first advantage, suppose I'm noted down advantages. Advantages. So what is the advantage? So first one is that suppose exploratory testing takes no preparations as it is unscripted testing technique. So exploratory testing is basically unscripted testing technique. There is no scripted documents. So that's why we don't need to take any type of preparation for this type of testing. So we can directly test the applications. No worry. Okay. First thing. Second advantage is that in exploratory testing, as we have we are following the unscripted testing technique. So that's why in exploratory testing, it finds critical defects very quickly. So in exploratory testing, we can find out the critical defects very quickly. And the third advantage is that in exploratory testing, tester use their knowledge, skills, experience to test any application. So obviously, as I've already told you that if you are a fresher and you are going to test the exploratory testing, so that is not the possible way. So you cannot explore anymore. So whenever you are experienced, whenever you are professional in testing, then obviously in your minds lots of test scenarios are present. So as per skill tester or as per experienced tester, they can easily do the exploratory testing by using their knowledge, by using their thinking power, by using their thinking ability, everything. So these are the advantages of exploratory testing. Now, coming to the next one is that disadvantages. So what is the disadvantages? So disadvantages. Disadvantages is that suppose, first point is that suppose we are thinking it's a bug. We are thinking it's a bug, but actually it's a requirement or it's a feature. Means, so I'm writing it that we are thinking it's a bug, but actually it's a requirement or requirement of feature. Means, suppose just I'm drawing one example. Okay. So this is the login page. This is one page. Let's say the page name is login. So here is username. Here is password. Here is password. And here is login button. So I'm making the marking the name as this is the username. Okay. And this is the password. And this is the login button. So what first point says that? The first point says that we are thinking it's a bug, but actually it's a requirement or feature. Means, suppose in that page, clients want or customer want that there should be one another features called sign up. Okay, so naming as is sign up button. So that is the client requirement. So in this page, these four unit are there, four component are there. So that is the client's requirement. So we are thinking that it's a bug. Whenever as I am a new tester, I am new in this project, so I am assuming that it's a bug. I am assuming that it's a bug. Then what we will do? We will fail that application flow. We will fail the features. But whenever the project started, the last 10 years ago, so that time from that time, it's a requirement. But as I am new in this project, I am thinking that it's a bug. So that is one possible scenario. That is one drawbacks or disadvantage. Second disadvantage is that vice versa. Make it vice versa. Like, second is that like we are thinking, I'm just copying it or I'm writing it down. We are thinking it's a requirement, but it's a bug. Just vice versa. So suppose now my project is like that. This is my applications and we are thinking whenever I am testing that applications, I am thinking that sign up is a new feature, sign up is a features. But actually, in that documents, in the client's requirements, there is no sign up features is there for that login page. But we are assuming that it's a feature. But originally, if we see that it's a bug. So there should be something like that, right? So this is also one disadvantage. We are thinking it's a requirement, but actually it's a bug. Got it? Now, coming to the third features. So it will time consuming. Time consuming process. It is time consuming process. Obviously, because we have to explore the applications, then we have to write down all the possible scenarios, then we have to test the application. So it's a more time consuming process. Okay. And fourth one is that is very critical or very important is that if in my applications, if any features or requirements is missing, we cannot understand. So I am not sure that what is the requirement because there is no scripted document. So if in my applications, if any features is missing, so we cannot understand that thing. Suppose in my application, the sign up features is missing. This is missing. So we cannot understand that what would be the requirement or what is the requirement, right? So if any features or requirement is missing, we cannot understand that thing, right? So these are the disadvantages of exploratory testing. Now, how to overcome? Obviously, if there is some drawbacks is there or disadvantages is there, so obviously we can overcome that. So what is the overcome process for that drawbacks? So first we have to understand the requirement from any senior uh, who have maximum knowledge on that product or on that applications. So we have to understand the requirement from whom, who has maximum knowledge on that product. So if we follow that, so if we make some knowledge, if we take some knowledge from that senior person, then we can easily overcome that missing feature of the application. The fourth disadvantage, what I have said you, the fourth disadvantage is that if any features is missing, so we cannot understand that. So how to overcome? So we have to understand the requirement first from any seniors who have maximum knowledge of the product, right? So this is the exploratory testing. So in exploratory testing, we have to understand the applications, we have to explore the applications, we have to find out all the possible scenarios, possible test cases, then we have to document that identified scenarios, and finally we have to test the applications by looking into those possible scenarios. That testing process is called as a exploratory testing. So now you guys are very much clear about all the details of exploratory testing and how exploratory testing is works, right? So it's a very important interview question. So as I've already told you that if you are a freshers, now maximum chances is there that interviewer will ask you that tell me something about exploratory testing. Now you guys have very much well cleared understand that what is exploratory testing and how it's work. Okay. If you guys have any doubt, please comment me. If you guys like my video, one thumbs up, share this video to your nearest friends, and subscribe to my channel EduPaat and clicking on the bell icon so that you will get my videos notifications update first. So see you in the next videos with some another interesting topic of software testing. Thank you.